How does Fellow App work with HubSpot? How does that integration work? How do companies leverage it?
Yeah, so we actually use HubSpot internally. Fun fact, HubSpot is also a customer of Fellows. So we love HubSpot. And so the way that we work with HubSpot is in a few ways. So usually when people are using HubSpot, it's for external conversations, right? So it's people on your
Correct.
sales team, it's people on your customer success team. And so the way that it works is you go to your meeting the way you always do. And Fellow is going to attend that meeting. It's this AI meeting assistant, so it'll look like an extra tile on your screen. And after the meeting, we do a bunch of things. So one, we will automatically take all the notes, the action items, the summaries, and the call log, and we're going to put that directly into HubSpot automatically without you having to do anything. But that's not the best part. We also automatically update all of the fields that you want to be updated in HubSpot, because everybody hates updating fields manually.
Everyone does.
So, but then you ask, well, what about that super complex field that is super obscure and you have to really think about it to figure out how to answer that? So, for example, what if you had a field that was something like company's growth prospects in 3 years? That was a question, right? A normal person, a salesperson, might have to sit and think, well, this is put a bunch of things together and then type something into that field. With Fellow, you can actually create these AI prompts. And once you create a prompt for any particular field, once the meeting is done, the entire meeting is run on that prompt, and based on that, we automatically update those fields as well. So all those complex fields that never get updated or super hard to update, now you have this, again, this super employee that is going to go update all those things for you. And of course, the other stuff which is super valuable is, again, once you have all these external meetings in place, Fellow does a bunch of other stuff that is relevant too. It makes it really easy to share this information. So for example, if you want all your sales conversations to be accessible by everybody in your company, but say your CSM conversations are only going to be accessible by a subset of the company, you can do those things. You can ask it questions. So if you wanted to say, of all the sales calls I had last week, what were the top 3 objections that I had? These are questions that you can ask. Again, super smart employee, goes to all of your meetings, and you can ask it anything. And it's just going to automatically do all those things that you never like doing anyway, but it's just going to do them automatically without
Well,
making.
I'm pretty sure as listeners, and some of you are in sales right now, are saying to yourself, well, this sounds fantastic. I hate doing all the updates. I hate taking my notes. I hate doing all these things. And the word hate is probably pretty commonly used, that they don't like doing it. They like focusing on their job. And I'm just thinking from the perspective of a consultant also, the consultant having all this information organized. And I love this cool thing of pre-prompts that it runs through after all of your meetings. Hey, here's a prompt, pull out this information.
Yeah, no, you reminded me of something else that is incredibly valuable. So the other thing we do is we do this thing called a pre-meeting brief. This is super powerful. So we'll pull the information from HubSpot, and so that you can have that visible during the meeting. But more than that, we will consume the conversations that you've had previously. Say it's a client and it's a recurring cadence. Maybe it's not a recurring meeting, but call it you meet them once a quarter. You have different thresholds. Fellow will actually send you an email and say, hey, here's what you talked about last time, but, and this is the part that I love the most, it will say that this is what we recommend you follow up on this time. And this stuff is really good. So it will be something like the last time you talked to Noah, he described this project, but it didn't seem to have that much detail. Maybe you want to ask him to describe that in a bit more detail this time. So again, it's not like the super obvious stuff, but it'll actually give you those sorts of insights as well. It really feels like you get superpowers.
You do get superpowers. It's pretty awesome. Especially, so it goes above and beyond just simply telling you, to your point, summarizing the meeting you just had, but also prepping you for the next meeting coming up. And then also making sure it's asking. It's fantastic. I love the idea that you can actually pre-prompt. So you can actually have it pull the information you want. All this is pretty fantastic because I know a lot of people are probably familiar with the whole call recording world and the players in that space. But this is truly, I love the position of an AI meeting assistant. I love the position of an AI chief of staff. Because if you think to yourself, what does everyone want? That's what they want. And imagine everyone in your organization have an AI chief of staff. And it sounds like that's exactly what you guys have built.